Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome to Grandma Diane's Story Time. If you'll remember, earlier in the week, I read Jane Hissey's Old Bear. Do you remember that, just a few days ago? And I told you there were other books by Jane Hissey that talked about the old bears and that sort of thing as well. So I thought we'd try another one today. This one's called Jane Hissey, Little Bear's Trousers, and then down here it says An Old Bear Story. Remember how Old Bear was up in the attic and the other animals used the airplane that was in the nursery, and they flew the airplane up into the attic to get it. Oh, Elsie just found another one too, but that one has more stories in it than just one, and it's called, it's called Old Bear Tales, and this one has some different stories in here about Old Bear and his friends. So, in fact, there's 3, 6, 10 stories in this one, Old Bear stories, which are fun to read, and you might want to have Mom help you find them sometime when you're in a bookstore. Okay, so today we're going to be reading this one, Little Bear's Trousers. Sounds like an interesting story. So, let's get started. Here we have those pretty end pages. Squeaking here is Eli over there in the chair. He's trying to be quiet, I know. And this one again says, To Diane, with best wishes, Jane Hissey. Another signed book from Diane's library. Little Bear's Trousers. The sun shone through the window and woke Little Bear. What a lovely morning, he said to himself. I'll do something different today. He jumped down from the bed, took off his pajamas, and looked for his trousers. He looked on the chair where he had left them, and he looked on the floor under the chair, and then he looked through the chest of drawers in case they were there, but they weren't. They were nowhere. They must be somewhere, said Little Bear. Trousers don't disappear. I'll go and ask Old Bear. He'll know where they are. Do you know what trousers are? Eli, do you know what trousers are? What are trousers? Shorts, yeah, or a pair of pants, right? Trousers are some kind of pants that you wear. Old Bear was already enjoying the sun in his deck chair. I haven't seen your trousers, I'm afraid, he said. But Camel was around here earlier. Perhaps she knows where they are. You remember Old Bear was the one that was up in the attic that they rescued. Brought him back to the nursery. Oh dear, said Camel, when Little Bear found her a few minutes later. I did find them. I thought they were a pair of hump warmers, and I tried them on to see if they fit me. They did keep my humps quite warm, but the air came down the top, so I decided these were better. And she showed Little Bear 2 very smart pom-pom hats, one for each hump. I gave the old hump warmers to Sailor to use as sails for his boat. Jump on my back and let's see if we can find him. Little Bear scrambled up and they galloped off in the direction of the bathroom. Oh my, look at here. There they are in the bathroom. And Sailor has his boat in the sink. And all the animals are kind of looking around there watching him in the sink. Doesn't look, well, maybe he does have water in there, trying to float his boat. Lots to see in that picture, isn't there? Sailor was looking after the boats and ducks in the bathroom. I did use them as sails, he said, but they look too much like trousers. That's because they are trousers, said Little Bear crossly. Where are they now? I gave them to Dog to keep his bones in, said Sailor. Sorry, Little Bear. We'd better hurry. He might be anywhere by now. They're climbing down from the sink on a towel, aren't they? Oh my. There's Dog.
Dog was happily burying his bones in flower pots when Little Bear found him. My bones kept falling through the two-bone holder, he said. Two-bone holder, cried Little Bear in dismay. Oh, Dog, can't you recognize trousers when you see them? Oh dear, said Dog, I do feel silly. I gave them to Rabbit. He said he needed a skiing hat, and your trousers look perfect. I'm sorry. Look at all his bones buried in the flower pots. Ah, look at him, skiing down the banister. Whee! Cried Rabbit as he shot past Little Bear a few minutes later, skiing down the banister on 2 lollipop sticks, skis. He didn't have Little Bear's trousers on his head now, but I did have them earlier, he explained when Little Bear caught up with him. They made a lovely rabbit hat with plenty of room for my ears, but they slipped over my eyes and I crashed, so I decided it was safer without them. I gave them to Zebra to carry her building blocks in. So here is Little Bear down here with the trousers on his head, like a hat. That would
No,
work.
that's Little
Rabbit, I'm sorry.
Rabbit.
Yeah, not Bear. Here's Little Bear. Still trying to find his trousers, isn't he? Zebra was building herself a house when Little Bear arrived, but his trousers were nowhere to be seen. I wondered whose they were, she said. They were terribly useful. I tied up the legs with string, put them on my back, and carried all these bricks here in them. But when I had enough bricks for my house, I gave them to Duck to use as a flag for his sandcastle. I'm sorry, Little Bear, I didn't know they belonged to you. Here he is carrying them, using them as a bag to carry the blocks in. Duck was in the sand tray, looking sadly at the castle he'd made. There was no trouser flag on the top now. I did use the flag that Zebra gave me, he sighed, but Bramwell Brown came and said it was just what he needed urgently in the kitchen. He gave me this paper flag to use instead. So here's the paper flag that Duck has. The kitchen was in I missed my place there. Never mind, said Little Bear with a sigh, feeling quite glad that his trousers were not covered in sand. The kitchen was in a terrible muddle. There were bowls and spoons and eggs and flour. In the middle of it all sat Bramwell Brown. Grandma's having a hard time reading today. Oh my, look at this, would you? Looks like they're baking a fancy cake, doesn't it? Has jam in the middle between the layers. And look what they're using the trousers for. What are they doing with those trousers? You know? What? Yeah, to put the frosting on, absolutely. He had Little Bear's trousers, but oh dear, he'd filled them with pink icing and was busy decorating a huge cake with them. Look at how they decorated all around this page with the icing in the pants. It's a special occasion cake, said Bramwell, and you have to put icing on special occasion cakes. I thought I could do 2 stripes at once with these icing bags. But they're not icing bags, they are my trousers, sniffed Little Bear, trying hard not to cry. I thought I'd seen them before, said Bramwell Brown. Don't worry, Little Bear, said Old Bear, who always arrived at the right moment. The icing will wash out and they'll look good as new. What's this special occasion cake for? Asked Little Bear, feeling a bit more cheerful at this news. Well, I didn't really know, said Bramwell. I just felt like making one. Old Bear thought hard. Perhaps it ought to be a trouser day cake, he suggested helpfully. So that's what Bramwell Brown wrote on the cake twice. Once with icing from the left trouser leg and once with icing from the right trouser leg. It said Happy Trouser Day in the middle, and there was a trouser pattern all around the edge. Look at the frosting, or the icing, they're calling it, spilling out of the pants. Silly.
Wait, what?
See how it's spilling out of the pants?
Oh.
I'd hate to put my body in there with the frosting, wouldn't you? Ick, you'd be stuck. Duck washed Little Bear's trousers and dried them next to the stove. Then all the toys sat down to enjoy a piece of cake and to celebrate the day Little Bear lost and found his trousers. Here they have pictures of the trousers on the cake. Cake looks almost good enough to eat, doesn't it? And ever since Trouser Day, Little Bear has slept with his trousers under his pillow. Nobody will find them there, he says. Well, what a great idea. I put him under his pillow. And here's all our characters again on the end page. So that's our story about Little Bear. There he is sitting on top of a bucket. How fun. The Little Bear stories are pretty fun to read. They're kind of old-fashioned, which is fun, and have a different look about them. So, remember, we read Old Bear, now we've read Little Bear's Trousers, and another one that I have that we won't be reading is Old Bear Tales, and there's 10 different stories in here about Old Bear. Let's see what they are. Oh, this one is signed too. That's cool. Okay, the 10 stories are The Dollhouse Christmas, Sunshine Sam and the Special Present, The Winter Picnic, Wet Bear, Katie Camel and the Desert Party, Bunny Dancers, There Were Four in a Bed, Flossie and Ginger at the Seaside, Henry Isaiah, and the last one's called The Circus. How fun. Well, that's our story time for Friday. Actually, it's the story time for the week, the last one for the week. We'll be back on Monday with some new books for us to read and for you to listen to. So I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday at 11 o'clock on Grandma Diane's Story Time.